Welcome to the Hands of Time, our 2018 review. I'm Paulie the Bull.
Big John Silver.
And right now we're going to recap some movies that came out this year. I'm not as big of a movie guy as John is. But I've seen
joke.
But I've seen enough this year. I got my list and some honorable mentions I want to go through. But it was a very good year for movies. Even the ones I didn't go to the theater to see, shout out to Cody. But so let's get into the list. First and foremost, in no particular order, but a big movie of the year, of course, Black Panther. All right, big for the significance of the movie itself. A black superhero, of course, kind of a big deal. Even Stan Lee himself, rest in peace, said it was the movie he was looking forward to most of all his comic creations. So the significance of that, yes, people definitely got dressed up and went. However, I feel like at first I clowned it myself, but then I thought about people going to see Star Wars dressing up as Jedis. You know what I'm saying? People going to see Harry Potter dressing up as wizards. So I was like, you know what? Have some fun. I didn't dress up myself, but to each their own. So to those that did, salute to that. But the significance of the movie was big, and at the end of the day, it was a very good movie. I think it was, the storyline was done very well. With most of the comic book movies that came out this year, they modernized it, so they gave the villain an actual relevant, plot and antagonistic plan. So it definitely made sense. So Black Panther to me was one of the best movies that came out this year.
I mean, one thing I love about the Marvel movies in general, like a lot of times, at least me personally, I end up kind of agreeing or at least seeing the point of the villain. But was he wrong though?
And he probably had one of the best. I don't want to say best, but he had one of the biggest points. It was like, yeah, I could see his reason.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? So followed by that, especially in the comic book universe, Avengers Infinity War. Again, the significance of them building this universe, and 10 years later, this culmination of it all, definitely was a good movie. Wasn't the best, so again, it's just not in particular order, but I think it was a very good movie, entertaining, had action, had emotion, but it was just all of the characters together, coming together, and all, blending in well, not just throwing them in just because, it definitely flowed well. Of course, it is kind of the part one to what's to come in the Avengers Endgame. So the list could change, But as of right now, it's in my top. I got it in there. And rounding off kind of my comic book movies of the year, which, was a lot this year, I got Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It just came out, but to me, it's probably one of the best comic book movies ever. It's animated, so it's probably one of the best animated movies ever.
It looked amazing. Can't wait for the 4K.
Right, the animations was used with a point. They used the different type of styles. Sony usually let us down with these kind of movies, so it was big just to see Sony put out a good body of work. And it was also a pretty significant comic book movie because Miles is black and Hispanic. He's from Brooklyn, so it was kind of a
Brooklyn.
You know what I mean? So it's a twist on the typical Spider-Man. Peter Parker, from Queens, clean-cut kid, went to the good school, Miles, grew up a little differently. He goes to the good school as well, but he's from the hood a little bit. So, it was like a good spin on the Spider-Man character. And I think that, I think it was also significant for representation. A lot of these comic book heroes and stuff, it's good to see some different faces, some different skin tones, you know what I mean? And we got a lot more to come. But also on my top 5, I have The Hate You Give. Very good movie. Inspired by a book, which was inspired by old Tupac, quote, "The hate you give little infants fucks everyone." Thug life, for those that don't know. The movie, very well done movie about a child who witnesses a friend of hers, shot by a policeman, and touching on that topic that has been an issue for years, more relevant recently in the internet with the Black Lives Matter hashtag and all that. But not only did the movie give you her perspective of witnessing it, her uncle, played by Common, is an officer, and they have a dialogue in one of the scenes in the movie that was powerful because he's black, but he's giving you the officer's perspective of what they see as well. So it wasn't just F the police bashing movie. You also got their point of view in the scenario. So definitely a very powerful movie. Everyone check it out. And also I have, last but not least, most certainly, Blind Spotting. A movie that everyone needs to go see. I mean, the writers of the movie are also the two stars of the movie, and they label this as a love letter to Oakland. It's a deep dive into their lives of Oakland, California, but it's relatable to something that we can see as well as New York City, from Brooklyn and Harlem, gentrification, Harlem, and gentrification and false identities and things like that. Black man, white man. How people label people when they first meet them, first appearances, and what I mean. But the movie is deep. I don't want to give anything away about the movie. I want everybody to go see it. It was in limited theaters, very limited release. So a lot of people never even heard of it. Blind Spotting. Go see it. Well, now you can't see it, I don't think. Find it. If it's on DVD.
It's on Blu-ray already.
Go buy it. Check it out. If a friend has it and you still don't want to spend money on it, borrow it. Watch it. You're going to want to buy it after that. Trust me. And not the honorable mention, but my bonus 6th one is Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a video game, but it was a great movie as well because you get to play it, but it plays out like a movie. That was my bonus, in there, because I almost shed a tear. I almost shed a thug tear playing that game. But it would be a great movie if they did adapt it to that. So I just want to throw that.
I'm still on chapter 2.
He's getting there. I finished it.
I'm a busy man.
Whatever. But it definitely
streets.
It definitely plays out as a great movie. That's the thing about Rockstar Games. They give you the controls to move the characters, but you're really following their predetermined script, which I don't have a problem with. Some people have a problem with that, but I love seeing the story unfold. And they put a lot into the story. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. They had a lot of voice actors, a lot of animators. This game was 8 years in the making. It showed. It paid off. Definitely, not for gamers, but hey, you can watch the YouTube videos that actually play out the whole story on there. Check that out. That's a movie in itself.
Yeah, so for my top 5, I actually have mine in order. Start with number 5. For me, it was A Star Is Born. I thought that movie was great. Directed, acted by Bradley Cooper, main star. Lady Gaga doing her. I think this is her first real major film debut. She did like TV shows and stuff, but this is her first film debut. Obviously the remake, but he put his own little taste in it. The fact that his acting, obviously, anyone who's ever watched Bradley Cooper movies, he's a man of accents. He can change accents like crazy.
He's Rocket Raccoon.
He does a great job. Yeah, he's Rocket Raccoon, exactly. But he does a great job. Yeah. But also, he wrote lyrics and sung his own songs like that, and they're good songs. Like there's 2 or 3 songs that I actually heard that I've listened to again on my iPod. Like, oh, this is a pretty good song. So
you listen to the Star Is Born soundtrack?
Some of it, yeah.
No doubt.
I do.
Did you cry at the end of the movie?
It's actually one of the better soundtracks of the year. Black Panther, without doubt, the best soundtrack of the year, by the way. Side note.
You listen to the Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse soundtrack?
I did. Yeah, that's a good album too. They had Belly on there. I didn't expect that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So Star Is Born. So I'm a person that I love movies. I go to movies all the time. I like the crowd reaction as well. That also feeds into my when I put things into perspective of what a better film is. For instance, Paranormal Activity was a terrible movie, but as a horror fan, watching people in the theater be so scared by something so stupid, and they were basic camera tricks, watching them be scared, made that movie one of my favorites. Same thing with this movie, but from the middle of the movie, with things that happened towards the end, and then actually every ending of the movie, literally I had the missus next to me, and then people, females in front, in the back, crying, sobbing, some actually crying at the end of the film. I haven't seen that in forever.
He cried too.
I definitely cried. Listen, y'all want? I send y'all wifey's IG. Y'all gotta ask her. Doesn't happen. Very few movies they cry. I've cried before movies.
That was one.
Very few movies they cry. Not that movie. Not at all. But anyway, around me though, there was women legit. You heard them sobbing, and I was like, wow, the impact of that movie. Phenomenal, a great job. So,
like I told you, I didn't buy into the love story.
But you cried though.
I didn't cry, but I didn't.
You FaceTime me and your eyes were teary.
No, they were not.
You was like, listen. I'm gonna say exactly what happened. I was driving down. All right, I was literally in the Bronx driving, and he hits me up. He's like, yo, did you cry? I knew what that meant. I know that meant that this motherfucker cried.
No.
So I FaceTime him, and his eyes were watery. That's all I'm saying.
No, they were not. But as I was saying, I didn't buy into their love because he was drunk, and he just picked her up as a jump off. and you never really seen.
Sometimes you wind up wifing the jump off. It happens.
And that's what I feel like happened, because even she was doubting it, because when he got sober, she was like, "You want me to leave?" Like, so it just didn't. It didn't get emotional enough for me to cry, because I didn't feel they really loved each other.
Dropping tears. It happened.
I didn't feel the love.
But anyway,
I didn't feel the love.
Then number 4 for me.
But it was a good movie.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good movie overall. Then number 4 for me, Green Book. That movie was really, really good. So I mean, I'm a big fan of Viggo Mortensen. A lot of people don't know who that is. His biggest thing is Lord of the Rings. He played, Aragorn or whatever. But he also did a few movies like Eastern Promises, History of Violence, that he's gotten awards for. Great actor, but he plays in the movie along with, I can't pronounce his name, but the dude from that he was in Moonlight. He won the Academy Award for Moonlight.
Mahershala Ali?
Yeah.
Mahershala.
I don't want to mess his name up. But he's there in the movie, and it's just a phenomenal movie based on a true story. That movie was like so good and heartfelt. I mean, they both had their own little accents. They dealt with everything from racism in the South to bigotry towards not only race but also homosexuality. The movie itself was just a great movie, and actually I didn't even know that existed. That was a real thing. Like back in the day there was a Green Book, and basically it was hotels that were safe for what they called what they would call Negro hotels, and it was safe for them to go to. Otherwise they're not allowed to go to certain places. That's crazy. That to think about that. Especially obviously the South. There's the South where it's the South, and there's the South that's real redneck South.
Yeah, still to this day in some places.
Yeah, and so like it was crazy to see that they actually had a book that they had to follow. That's that's banana. I can't imagine going through that. You know what I mean? But that's crazy. But the way they did the movie was so good. I mean, it was so heartfelt. It was just a great movie overall. Then for number 3, I got Black Panther. I thought Black Panther was phenomenal. I saw it twice in the movie theaters. Actually, no, I saw it 3 times in the movie theaters. I saw it once, Dolo. Then I saw it with you in the RPX, whatever. What is it called? The IMAX.
The Dolby joint.
Yeah, the Dolby shit. That movie was great. And I saw it again. And then the minute it came out on 4K Blu-ray, I watched it again. It's on Netflix. I go to sleep to it sometimes watching it. Like the movie was just done so well. The way it was done all together. The fact that it had the hip hop elements made it great. The villain, the antagonist, how you want to word him out. Like Michael B. Jordan did a phenomenal job acting it. The lines that
don't like his acting, and
his acting was fine. Even the quota was like, "Hey, auntie," like the quotables.
A lot of people didn't like him in the movie.
They were great. I think he did a great job overall. Yeah. I love the way he played the character. I think, like I said, he did a great job. I actually was more a fan of him than the rest of the cast of Black Panther. I mean, I'm a fan of Chadwick Boseman, but I think Michael B. Jordan stole the show. Like, I think he definitely stole the show. I love what he did with it. I love the movie. I love the message behind the movie, because that's another movie where I was like, you know what? I kind of agree with him. Like, I think Killmonger has the better view, the better point of things, and I understand why he wants what he wants. It makes sense. Then for number 2, I got Avengers Infinity War. One, just to see, just like the first Avengers, second Avengers, to see all my heroes as a kid, just come together. But then to watch one of my favorite stories as a comic book fan, the Infinity Gauntlet, Secret Wars kind of thing going on. Obviously, they did their own spin to how they did it, but to watch that on film was phenomenal. Then, Thanos, who, by the way, shout out to Josh Brolin, man, because he did Deadpool, he did Sicario 2, which was excellent film.
He had a big year.
And then he did this. Plus, I think he did some side movies and stuff, but he had a big year. Shout out to Josh Brolin. But anyway, his role as Thanos, a CGI digital character had you feeling the type of way. Yeah. But I don't want to throw out spoilers, but if you haven't seen Infinity War now, then you're fucking lame.
Kill yourself.
So, his whole acting where, and then he has to throw Gamora off. I was like, yo, this CGI guy is ready to make me go out and cry.
Saddest moment in the movie. A lot of people said they cried when Spider-Man said, Mr. Park. Nah, when he had to throw Gamora off and he's crying and she's laughing, thinking, ha, and he's like, nah, you're not crying because of him.
For me, it's a little tied with the fact that when he throws her off, and then at the end when he's like, when the little girl, the Gamora's asking her what it cost you, and he's like, everything, that shit is so deep.
The daddy-daughter bond was the moment of the movie. Yeah.
You know that shit's gonna hit me. So but then even at the end though, with his point, his understanding, obviously our resources are finite, but we keep growing, especially as people and population. He had a good point. I'm not saying it's okay, but he had I would understand where he came from.
He could have snapped more resources.
The way he's known as the Mad Titan, he wasn't an insane person. He had a logical reason that used logic over emotion of why we had to do this for the longevity of the species, not human race, obviously, for the species. So he made sense. And again, to watch all my heroes on screen go crazy, even. I remember, like I said, as a kid, I was never a Captain America fan. Even when the first movie came out, the first movie was trash. I loved Winter Soldier. I loved, Civil War, maybe Captain America, but even this one, you know, the train stops and you see him. Like I remember, like I felt like a little kid. And I was like, man, hype, yeah. Like,
they modernized him. They made him cool for, you know, he wasn't just a cheesy, you know, eat your vitamins and stay in school kid. He was a, you know, real person.
No,
so
they
the way they modernized the characters from that was written in the 40s and 50s to today, they're killing it with the comic
and the fact that like with all those stars, no one literally stole the show. Everyone had a good fair part.
Thanos.
I love the
Thanos stole the show.
I love the Peter Quill, Robert Downey Jr. back and forth. Like I loved it. That was one of my favorite things. But that's number 2. And number 1 for me, you have to go see this movie. He already talked about it. Blind Spotting. I was chasing this movie down. I went and found a theater.
He was supposed to go see it.
We was going on a date. I stood him up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not that easy. I got my mistake first. But like I went and chased the movie theater. I was playing it. I went and watched it in the movies because I was so hyped to watch this movie. It was so good that I tried to watch it again, but they already took it out because it was limited release.
Yeah.
The minute I've been chasing the release date, the minute it came out on Blu-ray, I bought it, watched it again, and I watched it again the other night. Like this movie is, one, phenomenally acted. 2, for those who like. You know, one of the dudes, one of the main stars, a part of it was part of Hamilton. So like the poetic part of it, the music part of it, like the whole thing of it, like the album was just great. And again, it was like a day in Oakland. Like you felt like you were living there, that you knew the area.
Yeah.
But the message behind the movie is so deep, and I don't want to ruin it for you overall because there's so many messages behind this movie.
Yeah.
And the more you watch it, the more you see things. But like, and then some of the characters, like I'm so relatable to as well. And if I relate to something, it makes it obviously more important for me. But the movie itself, literally the best movie of the year. Like I'm hoping it gets Oscar nominated. I'm hoping it gets thrown there.
Yeah. I hope enough people see it.
Yeah, like,
I hope enough people see it.
That movie was
word
so
of mouth.
good.
I put a couple people onto it, and everyone was blown away by it. Want to see it again and want to say, hey, I want to tell somebody else to go see it. So it definitely get the word out there because it's a phenomenal movie. And we're not part of the Oscar committee, and we don't watch all those foreign film stuff. But that movie. It's not a black movie. It's not a white movie. It's just something that everyone needs to see.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very
you touched on a little bit of the subject matter. So like overall, like obviously from a ghetto standpoint, a hood standpoint, you know, you gotta love it. From a realistic standpoint, you gotta love it. From just issues in the community, you know, race issues a problem, but then also me being from, you know, Bushwick, Brooklyn, which is completely gentrified now. I was there not too long ago, and I was like, yo, there's like sushi spots and like yoga studios, which are never there. Like, it was burnt down buildings and drugs. Like, when the way the Bushwick I grew up is not the Bushwick is now.
Right.
This film does a lot with gentrification, and it like again something I relate to. I didn't know this kind of stuff was happening out on the other in Oakland on the coast. I knew it was happening in Brooklyn, where I'm from. I seen the South Side, South Side Brooklyn. When I was younger, you know, late 90s, early 2000s, like you didn't walk through that area. And now it's like up and coming and it's like lofts and art galleries and shit that was never there before, which again, I'm all good for a community bettering itself, but it's just crazy to see how things have changed and how people are being pushed out, you know. It's literally like, it's like economic slaughter. And you can afford this? Well, we'll get you out of here. So it's crazy. And, you know, gentrification, you know, so the movie deals with parts of that as well. But the movie itself is just a phenomenal movie. I think everyone should watch it. And again, it's like an hour and 40, and it's entertaining. There's no dry part where you're like, oh, this is kind of boring.
It's
no part.
It's comedic. It's emotional.
Hell yeah.
It touches on topics, but it's very relatable. They add, like you said, the poetic element to it, so it's not a musical. The rhyming dialogue flows. There's one part that was a little jarring to me, but it made sense once I found out who they were. You understood that's their way of storytelling. But for the most part, when they do rhyme, it's kind of like homies in the hood just freestyling with each other, just kicking it. And that happened. Again, it's relatable. We used to just do that. We be talking and we just walking and be like, yo, you know, walking through the hood, up to no good. You just start freestyling just out of nowhere. So it made sense. It wasn't like a musical where everybody just start dancing and everybody knows the routine. You know, high school musical kind of joint. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely flew. It flowed well. Like we said, we can't say it no more. Go see it.
Yeah,
man.
please.
Go see it. Definitely go see it.
If you're close personal friends, let me know. We'll do a movie viewing in my crib, bro. I got the big TV. I got the movie. We watch it.
Bring some popcorn.
It's really good.
Yeah. What you got for honorable mention?
For movies, I really don't have many. I mean, sorry to bother you. I love that movie. That movie was good.
That was my honorable mention as well.
Yeah, it was a little bug. We saw that one together.
Another movie with a lot of messages, and I think the messages weren't as cohesive as Blind Spotting. It's a lot of messages just kind of thrown at you, and the movie goes left near the end. So that's why It wasn't in my top. It stays an honorable mention.
I do got Spider-Man also. Spider-Man is one of my honorable mentions. I thought it was a really good film. It actually made me, like, right after the movie was over, I was like, yo, you know what? I never actually tried to pay attention to the storyline of Miles Morales. And I mean, it's a Marvel character who played by Spider-Man, who's from Brooklyn, and he's Puerto Rican and African-American. Like, why am I not reading this? You know, nothing's better than getting your daughter to watch a cartoon that also is Marvel shit you're into, so it kind of worked out for me perfect.
Good bonding.
But for real. But she loved it, she enjoyed it. But yo, the way it was done was fucking excellent. But on top of that, like, it made me want to get more interested. I was like, all right, you know, like, a Marvel character who's from Brooklyn, he's Puerto Rican and African American. I was like, yo, I love this guy. So I literally ordered it from Amazon. Yeah, he wore Jordans. And he listens to rap music.
Right.
So I was like, I literally ordered from Amazon his little, the book basically with the first, like, I think it was like the first 50 comics or whatever.
Yeah.
I was thinking to see his story and stuff like that. So I'm going to check that out. And then there's
Black Klansman.
But yeah, that was not Black Klansman. That was a good fucking film, man. That was well acted.
Watching it, it was hard to believe that it was based on a true story. It was like, nah, this really happened. Yeah. When he sneaks the picture with the head of the KKK, and it's like the picture's on. You can actually search for the picture. He actually did that. It was like, wow, like it was great story. Denzel Washington's son stars in it, and there's times where you can hear Denzel's voice. Yeah, that's Denzel's son.
I did not know that was his son, bro.
Listen, watch it again, and you're gonna hear the voice come out. He's Denzel's son. And I'm watching it, and then sometimes, if I didn't know before, I'd be like, yo, that sounds like Denzel. If you close your eyes, it sounds like Denzel at certain points in the movie where he's talking. And the dude that played Kylo Ren, what's his name?
I don't know his name, but
I forgot his real name. But he's in it. But
Kylo Ren, we're good with that.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Very well, you know, Spike Lee movie, you know, typical Spike Lee. He gives you little scenes from, you know, history and why he's explaining something. They give you like a clip of you know what the real picture, real person was and stuff.
I love Spike Lee.
His visuals is, you know, haven't changed much, but you know, definitely a good story worth telling.
One of my favorite directors right there.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
One of my
I liked it.
I'm a big Queen fan.
Same here.
It wasn't 100% accurate to history, but most biopics are not. So it was a good Hollywood, you know. But it moves very fast. You don't really get much history of the band members. It's more just about the band and that time frame of when they became a band, and you know, and it wraps up at the Live Aid concert, which is like legendary. But definitely worth watching if you're a fan of that. I had A Star Is Born as my honorable mention as well. Creed 2 was pretty good. Did not cry. Creed 2 was pretty good.
Creed 2 I liked.
I was afraid of it because of the typical, you know, Drago's son, Creed's son, let's fight. But they gave you a little backstory of the Dragos after losing, which made the story have a little more depth to it than just, I'm gonna, you know, avenge my father. So I was like, okay, that was a cool spin on it. And I liked Halloween. You mentioned scary movies. Halloween was pretty good
for a horror movie.
Right, for a horror movie. I like the fact that they just kind of like scrapped every movie in between. It was like this Halloween from 40 years ago, and this Halloween now. And this is what happened. I thought that was I like that movie, the way it played out. It was more of an action movie. They had they gave you some fanfare to the original. Certain things he does, certain things that she does. You get those little clips of, oh yeah, I remember that, you know. But it was an action movie kind of, but it, you know, they kind of tried to modernize. It wasn't great, but I did like it.
The real number one movie of the year though, Venom.
I saw that.
It wasn't as bad as people made it sound, but it wasn't great either.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's you know, it was good. It was good. You know what I mean? Sony kind of did pretty good though. We always fear when we see a Sony comic book movie. With Venom and Into the Spider-Verse, you know, they did okay. And they made a lot of money off of both. You know, Venom made way more money than was projected. And Into the Spider-Verse, I think, was the highest.
You're going to get a second Venom.
Like, yeah, we're going to get a second one. And Into the Spider-Verse had the best opening weekend, I think, for animated movies
in December, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So,
which I'm surprised at because I know because childhood memories. My mom actually took me to see Toy Story, and that came out at Christmas.
Right.
So to you know, I mean, obviously inflation shit like that, but
yeah,
you know,
right.
That was pretty
it's
big.
the money.
You think of animated films,
the amount of money that they made. And Incredibles 2 came out this year. That was pretty good.
I like Incredibles 2.
So comment what you think. You know, tell us what you got in your top 5. What movies you loved. What movies we forgot about, and what movies we haven't seen. Recommend something we haven't seen, because we've been recommending Blind Spotting. We want everybody to go see that. Go see it twice. If it's, by the time you see this, it's probably out of theaters near you, whatever. So go buy the DVD, the Blu-ray, get it.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. Share it. Tell your friends about it. Let them know what's going on. Also, hit subscribe and the bell to be notified when new content is loaded, because there's much, much more to come.